For many, the best way to go Western lifestyle was to move to West. Over one quarter of East Germans aged 80 to 30 did so, the two-thirds of them women. A rural part of the East was especially affected, as towns and villages emptied and tax revenue slumped. Schools were closed, shops shuttered, and housing blocks demolished. The mass immigration of youngsters, led to a plummeting number of births. Since 2017, the net east-west migration has been roughly zero, but there has been no growth in the number of people moving east. The westward exodus has simply fallen to match it. The East is much older than the West. Since 1990, the number of over 60s there has increased by 1.3 billion, even as the overall population has fallen by 2.3 billion. IWH, a research outfit in Halle, thinks the working age population in the East will fall by more than a third by 2060. By 2035, 23 of Germany's 401 Kreise administrative districts will have shrunk by at least a fifth. All of them are in the East. In some districts, there will be 4 funerals for every birth. Instead of losing people to the West, Eastern Germans will lose them to the grave. The constitutional pledge of equivalent living conditions across Germany thus looks unattainable. The government tried to help so-called structural weak regions in the East as well as the West. But although investment in infrastructure or technical universities may help some towns, it cannot stop the demographic decline in many East German regions. The picture is much brighter in some eastern cities. Potsdam, Jena, and Dresden have clusters of industry and tourism as well as cheap housing. Some like Leipzig to irritated locals have been booming for years. The Bacon Belt around Berlin benefits from the success of capitals, especially as older workers move out to the suburbs. Yet even as overall emigration to the west dries up, eastern cities are sucking educated people away from already struggling small towns and villages. That trend may continue, as only half of East Germans work in cities compared with 3/4 in the West. The changes in the East have social, structural, and political consequences which are now coming to fore. Last February, thousands of Dynamo Dresden supporters at the away game in Hamburg began to unfamiliar chant, Ost, Ost, Ostdeutschland. A video of the episode went viral, sparking the live debate. Were the fans expressing a dubious Eastern variant of military German nationalism? Or was this a cheerful reappropriation of the identity that so long was taken to connote stupidity and closed mindedness? Mindedness. Identity is a key to understanding East German, says Franziska Schubert, a thoughtful Green who represent college in Saxony State Parliament. Fully 47% of East Germans says they identify as Easterners before Germans, so far higher proportion than the European moment of reunification. The equivalent is true for 22% of the East, of Westerners. The regional identity is hardly abnormal in Germany. Ask Bavarians, but in the East, it can seem grounded in politics as much as culture or tradition. When Jana Hansel, a writer, recently gave a talk to a school in her hometown in Leipzig, she was astonished to find herself spending a half an hour fielding questions from teenagers about the Ostquarter, a proposal to give a East German preference in public jobs. More than 25 years after the end of GDR, the students have become East German again. She says, if we are not careful, we'll lose another generation.